Jerry Cunningham versus Timothy Bracy.
Are you Timothy Bracy? You need to unmute yourself, sir.
You can
Are
hear
you
me now,
Timothy
sir?
Bracy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Bracy. It's usually not a good way to start a Tuesday morning with you appearing before the court. That means you are obviously not addressing your child support obligation in a responsible fashion, and obviously you want to buy yourself some jail time.
No,
Bracy.
sir, I really don't want to go to jail, but I can't find a job.
Sir, come down to the front of the court. They have a 4-page list. Don't even start that with me, Mr. Bracy.
I've been
There are
on your
employees,
list. I've had
employers who are screaming for employees. I get you a job today. If you get off
Sir,
your job, there's you get a job today. You go to Michigan
four
Bar,
job
go to Jack's
interviews in
Lawn
the last
Service.
month, and nobody will hire me.
Okay, I beg to differ.
I have work restrictions, so I can't just do any job.
The clerk at a gas station. Have you ever looked at the list, Mr. Bracy?
Yes, sir, I have. I have the list.
When did you look at the list?
After I got out of jail after Christmas, I picked up the list from the court's office, and I have been through your list.
It's updated every month, Mr. Bracy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Hicks, can you give the court some background information about Mr. Bracy, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. In this case, there is a current monthly support obligation of $329 per month. The total arrears balance today is $7,417.32. He was previously found in contempt on March 5th of 2019. It is a first finding. He only has 8 days remaining, as the last time he was before this court on December 19th, you sentenced him to 10 days immediate jail or $500. And he served that jail sentence. The last payment received was $200 in December of last year. Prior to that, we received $300 in October. Prior to that, $190 in July. He met with Ms. Brower from the friend of the court this morning in attempts to have a resolution with our docket. He informed her that he sells his plasma 2 times per week. I believe it was that he gets $50 for a first time and $60 for his subsequent times. So at a minimum, he has that income coming in, yet he's not paying anything towards his support. He's not filed a motion to modify his support obligation, despite the fact that he is continuously being elevated in front of you to be sentenced to additional jail time. He's showing minimal effort, Your Honor, in the eyes of the friend of the court. So we ask that he just be sentenced to the balance of that 8 days remaining on that first finding of contempt so we can move forward.
Right, Mr. Bracy the first thing you should do is file a motion to reduce your support. If you can't find a job and you have income right now, click along at $329 a month. I'm sure we had this conversation back in December. Reduce your support, be proactive.
It costs money to file the motion.
You can ask for a fee waiver. If you're unemployed, ask for a fee waiver. The clerk will grant you a fee waiver. Mr. Bracy, you're not asking the right questions.
They did not the last time that I was down there and filed the motion. So, I mean,
well, so how do you currently support yourself?
I donate plasma twice a week. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting on the roofing season to start, and hopefully I can go back to work. But nobody else is going to hire me with the work restrictions that I currently have.
Okay, who's putting the roof over your head? Who's feeding you, Mr. Bracy?
I live with my mother, and yes, the money that I make donating my plasma helps to pay whatever bills I can and to feed myself.
Okay. What are your work restrictions?
I'm not allowed to stand on concrete or anything else for more than 20 minutes at a time because I've shattered both of my heels. I have less than 20% motion in my right wrist, which limits my activities.
Okay. The job list has a couple of hotel clerks, a front desk clerk. They can be seated. That's looking for employees.
Yes, sir. Most people don't want to hire a man that looks like me to sit in front and take in customers.
We look very presentable, Mr. Bracy. I'm not going to buy that. So, Mr. Bracy, you got to do 2 things: file a motion to reduce your support, and you should spend 8 hours a day contacting prospective employers. I mean, I understand you have work restrictions; you can't be on your feet, but there's a lot of jobs. About the fuel station at Kroger. I mean, have you ever applied for some of those kind of positions where you can be seated all day?
Yes,
Right.
I have applied to. Yes, I have applied to these places, Your Honor, and nobody's willing to hire me. I've had 4 interviews in the last month.
Okay. Do you have any documentation? For example, you need to come down to the front of the court and get a sheet, and they'll give you a sheet where these employers will say that, yes, I've interviewed Mr. Bracy and we have nothing available for him.
No, I do not have that, but I will come down and get that.
All right. Okay, can you come down today to do that?
I'm not sure if I can get a ride down there.
Well, where do you live? What's your address?
What's that?
What's your address? Okay. Again, a lot of prospective employers in Dundee. I don't know from the list, so what's available in Dundee, but there certainly is here in southeastern Michigan. Do you have a driver's license?
No, sir.
What happened to your license?
I was taken away due to drunk driving years ago.
Okay. Do you have any intent to ever try to seek reinstatement of your license? Contact Secretary of State?
I have tried, Your Honor. I have tried. Trust me. I haven't. Every time I get close to getting my driver's license back, I ended up with a driving on suspended, and you get suspended for another year.
Right.
So
Right, it appears that we have someone else.
Cycle.
Someone else has appeared this morning for this Zoom hearing, in addition to Mr. Bracy, Monroe Front Court Attorney Rebecca Hicks, Sherry Cunningham. Ms. Cunningham, you have a child seated next to you. Can you have that child leave the room? This is an issue between you and Mr. Bracy.
She's muted.
And you're muted. We can't hear you at all. You're muted. You need to unmute yourself.
No, my daughter is 21. She was just helping me get in.
Is that Mr. Bracy's daughter?
No, we
right.
have 2 sons.
Okay, all right, that's fine then. I just want to make sure it's not Mr. Bracy's child.
No, sir.
So, Mr. Bracy, what do you propose? I mean, obviously jail's not doing anything.
I don't know what to do, Your Honor. I mean, right now, I'm just, hopefully the roofing season starts soon and I can go back to work doing that. I mean, that seems to be about the only people that are going to hire me.
I don't accept that, Mr. Bracy. Well, all right, Mr. Bracy, I'm gonna, here's what the court's gonna do. I'm gonna order you personally appear before this court on Monday, February 26th. And 11:15, you need to personally appear.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
appear, I'll issue a bench warrant for your arrest. You'll serve more than 8 days. I'm also advising you that you're most likely going to go to jail that day, but you can avoid jail if you do a couple things. Get into the front of the court today. Have your mother drive you downtown. You reach out to family and friends to drive you downtown. Get a copy of the job list and get a sheet. Get two things. Get a sheet where you can contact different employers that they say, hey, we're not hiring. And if you can show the court you've contacted 10 or 12 employers between now and next Monday, the court may be willing to give you some more time. You also need to pick up a copy of the motion packet to reduce your support. So between now and Monday, if you want to avoid or minimize the possibility of jail time, you need to file a motion to reduce support, pick up that jobs list, and provide the court with documentation next Monday that you've contacted at least 6 to 10, if not 12 employers who are saying that we met Mr. Bracy, we have nothing available for him.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Cunningham, you had a question?
I do. I'm just, before we came in front of you, I did speak to the caseworker and let her know that not only is he donating, he has worked. He has did some roofing since he's been out of jail. But every time I get a hold of him to try to help me financially with our kids, it's always like, I would rather just go to jail. He refuses to pay child support. He says to see his kids, which he doesn't really see his kids.
Excuse me, one of the kids has been with me almost every single day for the last month.
Right, Mr. Bracy, please do not interrupt, please. We'll let you respond.
Yes, sir. That was a bullface lie.
He is living with his mother around the corner. and we usually have to reach out to him for something. He doesn't come and get his kids when he's supposed to on his days or weekends. Now, I do want to state that there is an issue that he was using, and I hear that he is using again. He did, and I don't know if it's irrelevant to throw up, back in June 2nd, he did overdose and die. So I don't know if there's just other things going on right now, but he is more than capable to work. He does not have restrictions. Since your accident, you have been roofing. I mean, it's never been an issue. It's only an issue when it comes to paying your child support. You're not involved with the school. You're not involved in any meetings. I'm homeschooling our youngest right now. I have no support from you.
That's your
That's
choice.
all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted.
Ms. Cunningham, your concerns are noted. I have a busy docket this morning. Your concerns are noted. The court will take Mr. Bracy to task for not paying his child support. So, Mr. Bracy, you're ordered to appear. Ms. Cunningham, you can appear if you want. Next Monday at 11:15. You're not required to do so, but Mr. Bracy, you're ordered to personally appear on Monday, February 26th, 11:15, outside Brown's Court, and bring with you $500 to apply toward your marriages. So that's for reach out to family and friends, and hopefully your mother, if she wants to go for dinner, she can give that $500. Bring a jobs list. The list showing you contact various employers, and file a motion to reduce your support. Yeah, you got to show the court you're doing something, Mr. Bracy. Otherwise, you will go to jail for 8 days.
Yes, sir.
And again, when you say roofing, that's a pretty physical job. When you say you can't do anything on your feet, but you want to get back to roofing, that's a pretty strenuous physical job.
That's because I can sit down or I can kneel, I can stand, I can change my positions whenever I need to.
All right. I think most jobs need job listing will accommodate those alleged disabilities, Mr. Bracy. In any event, we'll see you at 11:15 then on Monday. That's February 26th. Bring with you $500 and show the court you're taking some action to address this obligation. Anything further, Ms. Hicks?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I'm typing that order. I'll upload it shortly.
All right, Mr. Bracy, we'll see you on Monday then.
Yes, sir.
15 and try to get that $500. That's going to apply toward your rear. It's not going to go toward. That's one way you can buy yourself some time at paying that $500. You go 100% toward your rearages. Okay, see you on Monday. You can zoom out
later.
Cunningham versus Timothy Bracy.
Good morning. Are you Timothy Bracy?
Yes.
For the record, Mr. Bracy is appearing in person this morning as directed by this court for contempt proceedings. Also present on the Polycom will be appearing via Zoom is Monroe County Front Court Attorney Rebecca Hicks. Good morning, Ms. Hicks.
Morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Bracy has presented to the court this morning what appears to be a motion to modify his child support. He's seeking a reduction in support due to not working. I would note for the record, Mr. Bracy appears to be physically capable, able-bodied.
No, sir, you've seen the scars that I have from I've shattered both my heels. I've broken this arm in half. I shattered this wrist. I mean, you can see the scar that runs up.
So you're limited in terms of your physical work. Is that correct?
That's all movement. My wrist goes up.
Okay. Have you obtained the 4-page list from the front of the court of employers that are screaming for employees?
Yes, sir. On the end, you can see I filled out a bunch of applications this last week.
For the record, Mr. Bracy has attached to his motion, looks like computer printouts that he's apparently applied online. Mr. Bracy, I understand a lot of employers are advertising online. There's no substitute for a personal appearance when you appear at a place of business.
I don't have a driver's license, Your Honor. So
What do you need to do? Do you understand what you need to do to get your license straightened out?
It's been revoked.
Okay, but you're a young man. Don't you want to drive sometime during your lifetime?
Yes, sir. I would love.
Do you know what you need to do to get your license straightened out? That's the
Yes,
question.
every time I'm almost to the point where I'm able to get it back, I get a driving on suspended license and it's suspended for another year.
Okay, you gotta stop driving. But I have known people. There's a well their way they ride ride a bicycle. Can you ride a bike? Or
Yes, sir, and I do.
okay, all right.
But it's been winter time, so riding a bike is a little dangerous.
All right.
I do have a meeting with a company on this coming Thursday to tour their facility and have an interview with them about going and mowing lawns. Since that doesn't require me to do a whole lot of walking or motions with my wrist, so.
Okay. Can you load the dishwasher?
Or the dishwasher,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to stand for more than 20 minutes at a time on any hard surface.
Okay. All right, the last question, Mr. Bracy, the court suggested you bring $500 to pay toward your child support arrears, which exceeds $7,000. Did you make a payment this morning?
No, sir, I had not been able to find work. I don't have any.
Okay, how do you support yourself?
I live with my mother right now.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Bracy, in this court's opinion, and I appreciate, I understand, I'm sympathetic with your physical limitations, but there are places of employment out there. You just need to be more diligent in your efforts. Ms. Six, what's your recommendation? Obviously, the court's disappointed that Mr. Bracy is not presenting anything today. He's got 8 days hand over your head. Mr. Bracy, why shouldn't you serve the remaining 8 days in jail to perhaps convince you that you need to get a job?
And I have a meeting with a company on Thursday to tour their facility to hopefully start working. And if I do 8 days in jail, I'll miss that opportunity. And that's basically it's taking a job away from me.
And they wouldn't meet with you today, last week?
No, that's the earliest I can get in with them is on Thursday. And you can see on the last piece of that paper, it states that I tell them that I can't come in before Thursday. That was just the earliest date they would allow me to sign up for.
All right, Ms. Hicks, any suggestions, recommendations this morning? Obviously, the fact that Mr. Bracy's filed a motion to reduce support, yes, that obviously is, at least he's doing something, but it's not going to reduce his urges, which exceeds $7,000.
Yes, sir, and I am trying to find work, and I do have an appointment with somebody to get a job. If I miss that, then I won't get that job.
There's more than one job out there, Mr.
And
Bracy.
as you can see that I've applied to numerous jobs, and none of them have gotten back with me. The only one that has is in Fremont, which I can't go to that one. And they have another company, which I meet with them on Thursday.
And Mr. Bracy last made a $200 payment in December of 2023. Is that correct, Ms. Hicks?
Let me verify.
Was
Yes. December 5th of 2023, Your Honor.
that?
And this job will be.
Where'd you get that $200?
I borrowed it. From
Okay.
my mom.
Okay. How much can your mom loan you some money today?
She doesn't have money like that.
All right, Mr. Bracy, you need to, I don't know, you need to, maybe you need to spend, if you're sitting home all day, get out and walk some businesses.
I can't walk, Your Honor. I'm not allowed to walk.
Okay, we'll ride a
I'd
bike.
like to see the scars that I have.
Understand.
2 shattered
All right.
wheels.
Mr. Bracy, obviously you've got, let me ask you, have you applied for Social Security?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I don't have the paper trail. We're working on getting that started. I now have my Medicaid, so that I'm allowed to go to the doctors again. And yes, I will be getting my Social Security.
Right. Well, that's a long process. So you need to
Yes,
pay
it is.
support between now and don't, that could take 12 months to get Social Security. We can't,
And that's why I'm
the
trying.
children that you brought into this world need to be supported,
And
sir.
that's why I'm trying to get this job, Your Honor.
But there's no
It's on the books.
guarantees.
I'll be able to have my child support taken directly out of my paycheck every week.
Ms. Hicks, do you have any questions for Mr. Bracy or any recommendation for the court this morning?
Your Honor, the front of the court is simply still requesting that he be sentenced to 8 days immediate jail or $500 in lieu of those 8 days.
All right, Mr. Bracy, the court suggested that you, and that's why I put the matter over, give you a good week or so to come up with this $500. So anything else you want to say before the court imposes a sentence?
Your Honor, I have begged and tried to borrow money from everybody that I know, and nobody has $500 they can just hold me.
How much can you come up with?
You have any money?
No, not today. I get paid tomorrow.
All right.
And I'm on Social Security and I work at Walmart.
Ma'am, this is not your obligation. You don't need to support your grandchildren. This is your son's obligation. And Mr. Bracy, I tried to give you a fair notice, so the court's going to order that you serve the 8 days in Monroe County Jail. You can be released upon posting a $500 cash bond.
So all the work that I did to try and get a job, and now
We'll follow up with that job. I mean, the court's recognizing you've done something, but again, the court was hoping you'd come up with, pay something today, and you've got to come up with zero.
Once I can get to work, Your Honor, I will start.
There's no guarantee that job is going to come to fruition. if in fact, what you go ahead and reschedule that appointment and you need to make more of an effort. So, Ms. Six, what do you suggest for review date for Mr. Bracy?
April 30th at 8 a.m.
All right, so Mr. Bracy, you're prepared for Ms. Six for review April 30th at 8 a.m. Hopefully you make some payment. Hopefully you got a reduced support obligation by then. You will have had hearing data in your motion to modify and reduce your support. And it's a step in the right direction. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the bond to $300. Mr. Bracy, at least he's appeared this morning. I give him credit for that. He's filed a motion to reduce support. So that's you can avoid 8 days by posting a $300 cash bond. That's going to apply toward your arrearages, Mr. Bracy. And then be prepared for Ms. Hicks, April 30th at 8 a.m. A copy of this order will be mailed to you at your address. Okay, so copy of the order will be mailed to you at that home address, Mr. Bracy, April 30th at 8 a.m. And then you can be by Zoom. Hopefully you've got a job. Hopefully you made payments between now and then. And that's the way you can avoid, and otherwise there'll be a second finding of contempt.
Yes, sir.
90 days. So, get focusing on this, Mr. Bracy. You really, with this warmer weather, you should be out there every day actually making some personal visits. Sometimes that makes a difference with employers.
Your Honor, I can't walk and I don't have a driver's license.
Okay, get those doctor's appointments, get moving on that Social Security application.
I get all that online.
Okay,
And yes, I am trying to get my Social Security, so that's all taken care of. And then my kids will have the Social Security.
okay. But hopefully you get the reduction in your support. That's going to reduce the increase of your arrearages. And hopefully you should have done it really a long time ago. You waited till you're in a pinch before you start taking some action. But
I
again,
filed a motion before, it had it reduced once before, but they lowered it like $9.
okay.
So I mean, that does me absolutely no good, $9.
Okay. In any event, so it's 8 days. We release bond, post a $300 cash bond. So if it can be
Yes, sir.
posted today, you'll be out today. If it's posted tomorrow, you can cut short those 8 days by $300 cash bond. And that's going to apply 100% toward your arrearages.
No, sir.
Anything further, Ms. X?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Bracy, you can just remain where you're at. Someone will come over and take you over to the county jail for 8 days.
Page 1, Ashley Durant Harper versus Clayton Sheba.
For the record, this matter is before the court as a referral from the friend of the court as a result of parenting time and various complaints raised by each parent against the other parent. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Is Ashley Durant Harper present at audio?
Yes.
All right, good morning. And also Clayton Sheba, defendant father, is also present. The parties have conferred this morning with Ms. LaPrade. Ms. LaPrade has provided the court with the following recommendation. There's a question about the minor child's coat. It says that neither party has the coat in question, but if the coat is found, it shall be sent back to plaintiff mother. The grandparent shall exchange the money order. Mother will get a corrected money order within 7 days. Both parties shall notify the other party of appointments when they're scheduled. I'm sure the court's ordered that in the past. The two of you need to co-parent. And right now, everyone's communicating by app close. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so easy to put that when it's scheduled. You immediately put that in app close calendar so the other parent has knowledge of any appointment. Further, it's recommended that if a party attends a church service, the child may attend unless otherwise the parties must agree upon any religious activity. So, for example, when suppose confirmed or some other baptized, the first communion, that's something that both parties must agree upon. But simply attending a church service, if one parent wants to take the child may attend. Again, there's some question about a third party taking the child. It should be the parents that take the children. Mom, if in fact you have somebody that wants to take your daughter to church, you should be going with them. And finally, it's recommended that the child not be removed from school early without a doctor's note or unless the parties agree otherwise. And this recommendation, if adopted, would come to the court, and that would resolve all complaints through today's date. Ms. Durant Harper, do you understand the recommendation?
Yes.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting this recommendation?
No.
All right, Mr. Sheep, do you understand the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting this recommendation?
Not at this time, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pratt, for your time and efforts this morning. The court will adopt the recommendation. You both be mailed a copy of that. That will conclude this matter. You can all zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Welcome.
thank you.
Court is now in session. Craig Jarvis versus Amber Doyle.
Are you Craig Jarvis?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Jarvis. For the record, Mr. Jarvis is appearing via Zoom this morning. Also present for this hearing is Monroe County Front of the Court Attorney Rebecca Hicks. Mr. Jarvis, you're brought before the court when you're not addressing your responsibility to pay child support and you're not working with the front of the court. What
Yes,
is your
Your
current
Honor.
address, Mr. Jarvis?
My
Michigan.
current address,
Is that the address you have on file, Mr. Six, for Mr. Jarvis?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Can you provide a little information about Mr. Jarvis and his failure to comply with orders of this court?
Certainly, Your Honor. In this matter, there is a current monthly support obligation of $685 per month. His arrears balance today is $6,604. The last payment received was November 7th of 2023 in the amount of $700. This case was elevated to your docket today following 2 hearings with referee McKee. This matter was first heard before referee McKee on November 15th of last year. At that time, he adjourned it over to January 10th. On January 10th, he was not satisfied and he elevated it to today's date so that the front of the court could request contempt findings against Mr. Jarvis.
All right. Mr. Jarvis, you need to be, do you understand you are being charged with civil contempt of court for failure to pay child support. Upon conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. Since there's a distinct possibility of jail, you have the right to an attorney. And if you're unable to afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you at public expense. Do you understand all that?
yes, Your Honor.
Are you requesting a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Are you single or married? Just got to ask you a few questions.
Single,
Okay. Do you own the home that you live in or do you rent?
rent.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
With whom?
Self-employed. I have a law practice.
Are you an attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you work out of your home or do you have an office?
Work out of my home.
Okay. How many years have you been employed as an attorney?
7.
7 years?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't do math. Please hold.
Okay. That's fine. Approximately.
I was sworn to the bar in 2015. 9 years, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any income other than your income as an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Do you own any property of any value, such as automobile, bank accounts?
Yes, both.
Okay. How many vehicles?
I own a pickup truck. 1.
Okay. Boats, snowmobiles, motorcycles?
I own a boat. I own a ancient catamaran.
Okay. They maybe need to liquidate that.
I looked into it this weekend.
So what about the bank accounts? How much do you have in any bank accounts?
I found $130 between multiple bank accounts, and at Counselor Hicks' encouragement, I sent that to Amber between our meeting earlier and now.
First of all, you don't send any money to Amber. Your obligation is sent it to the Monroe County Front of the Court. You don't get credit for anything you send to Amber.
I sent it to through expert pay to MISDU.
All right. Okay. Do you have an average? What's your average take home? Let's say per week or every 2 weeks from your law practice.
It varies. I've had difficulty finding clients. I made $1,500 last month.
Is that maybe average per month?
At the moment, yes.
And all you have left right now is $130?
No, I have $8 left after sending 130 to MISDU.
Okay.
Amber Doyle just appeared.
Okay, the court's informed that Amber Doyle has appeared. Good morning, Ms. Doyle. Right, Mr. Jarvis, you need to be proactive. You're sitting on your hands. First of all, you need to file a motion to reduce your support. If you can't afford the $685 per month, you need to file a motion to reduce that. Secondly, you need to pay at some point in time, as this gets closer to $10,000, the Attorney General is going to charge you with a felony non-support. You need to significantly reduce these arrearages. And what you need to do is maybe pick up a part-time job. Maybe get a job at Menards on weekends or something where you have a very steady income if the law practice is not supporting your obligations. Right to Mr. Jarvis. Court's going to order you personally appear before this court on Monday, February 26th. 11:15
right.
Bronx is in the 4th floor of the Monroe County Courts. You need to come down to Monroe. And Attorney will be contact you by Zoom. In fact, why don't you give me a cell number where the attorney can reach you at?
Area code 734.
Okay, the attorney will talk to you between now and then, but I'm ordering you personally appear and bring with you a toothbrush or $1,000 cash. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Could you repeat that date?
Monday, February 26th. 11:15. So I'm giving you some time. Rather than have your report tomorrow, I'm giving you some time to get together that $1,000. This is where we reach out to family and friends. Court wants a significant payment on Monday. If you don't, then if you can't, if you can get that money together, the court is inclined not to impose immediate jail. But if you can't pay that, then there's a really, really good chance you're going to have lunch in the county jail on Monday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, to Ms. Doyle, do you have any questions, concerns? I know you've appeared. You're muted right now.
I can't think of any right now. I have a comment that I don't think that a week is really going to be sufficient for Craig, but I think that if he gives evidence in a week that he has been putting significant effort into finding employment so that he can actually pay his obligation, that would be sufficient for me at that time.
Well, it's not sufficient for this court. This court has an obligation to enforce these court orders. Now, of course, if you want to come in and waive urges, you can do that. But in any event, this court's going to insist upon I'm giving them a week rather than scheduling it for tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I'm going to give them a week. That's February 26th. That's Monday, 11:15. Appear personally outside the courtroom. Hopefully, you will have stopped in the visit Ms. Hicks in the front of the court and pay the $1,000 before you come up here, Mr. Jarvis, because that would you would be able to avoid going to jail that day. So reach out, and you need to pick up another part-time job. The reality is, and or when you come down Monday, be proactive. File a motion to reduce support. If you don't have the income, file a motion to reduce support. Right now, it's clicking along at $685 a month. You've not made a payment since November. It's simply unacceptable. Do you have any questions, Mr. Jarvis?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Hicks, do you have anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Doyle, you can appear on Monday if you choose, 11:15. We will be streaming on Zoom, but Mr. Jarvis will be here personally.
Mr. Jarvis, are you ready?
Good morning, Mr. Leiter.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Jarvis is present on the hallway. He's going to come in. The he did provide the court with a receipt and paid $500. Is that correct, Ms. Hicks?
That is, he paid $1,000, Your Honor.
$1,000. Thank you.
Jarvis, can you do it at the table?
You are Craig Jarvis, correct?
Correct.
All right, now for the record, Mr. Jarvis is personally present in court as ordered by this court. Also present, appearing via Zoom, is Attorney Timothy Leiter, appointed to represent Mr. Jarvis, and Monroe County Front of the Court Attorney Rebecca Hicks. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The court is pleased that Mr. Jarvis has presented receipt showing he's paid $1,000 toward the child support arrearages this morning. Have you been able to verify that, Ms. Hicks?
He did make that payment.
Okay, wonderful. Of course, that can be applied toward these arrearages, which exceed $6,000. Right, to Mr. Leiter, have you had an opportunity to discuss these proceedings with Mr. Jarvis?
Your Honor, I had previously, speaking to Mr. Jarvis today, I had a chance to speak to friend of the court attorney, Ms. Hicks. Ms. Hicks has offered a plea agreement of sorts. I will let Ms. Hicks put that on the record. My understanding is Mr. Jarvis wishes to accept that.
Ms. Hicks?
Thank you, Your Honor. Because Mr. Jarvis did appear in person as required today and make that $1,000 payment, the friend of the court is simply looking that he admit to a finding of contempt. The friend of the court will not be requesting any immediate jail. Instead, we would like to adjourn his show cause back to my docket for April 30th at 10 a.m. so we can monitor that consistent payments are being made going forward. And he would just have that 45-day balance hanging over his head if he fails to continue to pay.
Very well, thank you, Ms. Hicks. Mr. Jarvis, did you understand what's being recommended by Ms. Hicks?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there'd be, in other words, you just hold the key to jail. There'd be no jail unless you simply failed to appear or you failed to address these arrearages. Of course, one thing you can do, and perhaps Mr. Leiter has suggested to you, is file a motion to reduce your support. If you can't afford the $685 current support obligation, file a motion to reduce that.
We're in the process of drafting it.
And there's a support motion packet you get from the front of the court on your way out this morning. Right, Mr. Jarvis, are you satisfied you received right to legal counsel by conferring with Mr. Leiter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it correct that you wish to admit to contempt this morning?
Yes.
To this recommendation and agreement? Thank you. Mr. Jarvis, do you admit and acknowledge that you're obligated to pay child support for the support maintenance of a child or children born to you and Amber Doyle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you admit and acknowledge you have outstanding arrears of about $6,600?
Yes.
Further admit and acknowledge you've not made any payments since November of 2023?
Yes.
Are you disabled?
No.
Have you had any income since November of 2023?
Yes.
And you acknowledge you've not paid any of that toward your child support obligation?
Not until today, correct.
All right. All right. Mr. Leiter, Ms. Hicks, do either of you have any questions for Mr. Jarvis this morning?
No, Your Honor, I have none.
All right, thank you. Well, based on the testimony that's been presented this morning, as well as review the court file, the court finds that Mr. Jarvis does have an obligation imposed by an order of this court to pay child support. Mr. Jarvis has failed to comply with that order. Mr. Jarvis acknowledges not having made any payments since November 2023. If Mr. Jarvis had exercised due diligence, he would have taken some action between now and then to address this support obligation. He acknowledges having income in the interim. He's not paying that toward child support. In the event the court finds there exists a basis to find Mr. Jarvis in contempt of court, the court will accordingly find Mr. Jarvis to be in contempt of court. Mr. Jarvis, the court is inclined to follow the sentence, which is a suspended sentence, with the review date for Ms. Hicks, April 30th at 10 a.m. You just need to take some action between now and then, either file a motion to reduce your support and or make some consistent payments between now and then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Leiter, is there anything you want to say on behalf of Mr. Jarvis before the court proceeds with sentence?
Your Honor, other than we certainly thank the court as well as Ms. Hicks.
Ms. Hicks, anything from your standpoint?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Jarvis, anything you want to say before the court?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow the recommendation of Ms. Hicks. First of all, the $1,000 payment, obviously that's already applied toward, will apply toward the arrearages. No need to forfeit anything because it's not a bond. But in any event, Mr. Jarvis, court's can already serve 45 days in Monroe County Jail, but suspend that sentence. In order to appear for Ms. Hicks back on her docket, April 30th at 10 a.m. Obviously, you want to keep on Ms. Hicks' docket. Once, of course, you start making regular payments and making progress to this, then you're off her docket, and there's no need for a continual review. But you need to appear. You can appear via Zoom in front of her April 30th at 10 a.m. And obviously, you don't want to be elevated back up to this level. So hopefully, keep it that level. and you hold the key to 45 days. You will not serve 1 day in jail unless you ignore this obligation. Any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, anything further, Ms. Hicks?
Nothing further on this matter. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Leiter, for your
Thank you very
assistance.
much, Your Honor.
That will conclude this hearing.
Carolyn Walters versus Jonathan Arnold.
For the record, Jonathan Arnold is appearing from the Monroe County Jail via Zoom. Also present is Attorney Ronald Benor. In the Defense Counsel Office. Good morning, Mr. Benor.
Good morning, Judge.
For the record, Judge Lohmeyer is busy today, so this court is arraigning Mr. Arnold for alleged personal protection order violation in the absence and or lieu of Judge Arnold. I'm sorry, Judge Lohmeyer, I should say. Mr. Arnold, it's alleged that on about February 18th, 2024, that you did appear at the residence known as Michigan, home of your parents, and you also, it's alleged that you made verbal threats to the petitioner, Gerald's mother. If it is determined that you violated this personal protection order, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. Because of the possibility of jail, you have the right to an attorney, and the attorney will be present to represent you. And of course, at the hearing, you have a right to confront and question the witnesses. Do you understand the allegations, Mr. Arnold?
Yes, I do.
All right. What's your current address, Mr. Arnold?
The same address that I violated the TPO that I came home to take. My dad's 86 years old. He's
Mr. Arnold,
terrible.
where do you live? We have an address.
26
there, Mr. Arnold. You can't go
All right,
there.
well then I'm
You need to file a
homeless.
motion to terminate the PPO or modify it. You have an address that I see at 4241 Toledo, Ohio. Is that where you live?
Where'd that come from?
So you never heard of this address?
Oh, that's my grandmother's address in Toledo.
All right. So are you homeless then right now?
Right, yeah, currently, yeah.
All right. Can you live with your grandmother on Grantley?
I mean, that's actually my uncle's house that she left to him, but I mean, I could talk to him and work something out. But I don't think that's not somewhere I'd want to be, but.
All right, Mr. Arnold, you cannot go to your parents' home. I understand that.
I understand it. I'll just go get a room and then take care of what I got to take care of, sir. I'm not trying to violate any of that. My mother had a broken leg. I've been there for 3 weeks taking care of her. She got upset and called the police because I wouldn't go get it done.
Sir, stop talking, please.
If she invites you over for dinner, you can't go over there. You understand? Even if she cooks your favorite dinner, you can't go over there. You need to file a petition to terminate this. If in fact you want to go over there, until it's been terminated or modified, you cannot go over there. I want to make that real clear.
That's fine. I understand 100%. I won't.
So if you're released by this court, where will you go?
I'm gonna go get my go get a room and figure something out. Obviously, I mean, I got nowhere to go, so I'm just gonna have to go get a hotel room somewhere.
Are you employed?
Yeah, self-employed.
Doing what?
Home improvement type of work, construction stuff, handyman stuff.
Okay. So you have funds to rent a hotel room?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you afford an attorney, or are you requesting a court-appointed lawyer?
I got no money for an attorney right now. No, I mean.
All right. This personal protection order, Mr. Arnold, was entered in May of 2023. It prohibits you from going onto the property. It prohibits you from stalking or threatening. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay. This PPO remains in effect. If you want to modify, you need to file a petition to modify it. But until that's been modified, this continues until May 19th of 2024. All right, Mr. Benor, the court's inclined to release Mr. Arnold on a personal bond. I do have a hearing date that I've been provided from the Judge Lohmeyer's office. Mr. Arnold, you're ordered to appear before Judge Lohmeyer. She's a judge that entered this PPO March 4th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. That is a week from Monday, March 4th.
That's not a problem, sir.
9:30 in the morning, you must appear. You can either appear via, apparently, of course, the form you can appear either in person or via Zoom. March 4th, 9:30. Mr. Bernard, your office, someone from your office will be present to represent Mr. Arnold at that time.
Yes, Judge, Mr. Arnold did request an attorney. He does qualify for same. We will appoint an attorney for him for that date.
Thank you. And in light of the fact, of course, the release of personal bond, is there anything else you want to add, Mr. Bernard?
No, Judge, thank you.
Do you need a phone number for Mr. Arnold?
We have one, Judge.
Do you want Mr. Arnold to follow up with your office, or will he hear from you or someone from your office?
He'll be contacted by whoever's appointed, Judge. Should be within 5 days.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Arnold, the attorney will reach out and contact you within 5 days, so make sure you have your cell phone and you answer your phone.
All right.
And that attorney will discuss with you in advance of this hearing, and will also appear with you at that hearing again on Monday, March 4th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. Again, in the interim, you can't go back to your parents' home. You can't go to the Miller Street home. Understood?
I do understand that, sir. I was gonna ask one question. My German Shepherd's over there at the house, which I did not okay any of that for them to have my dog. I told them I had a friend pick up some stuff and the dog was supposed to go.
Okay, but have your friend pick up the dog. You can't go over there.
All right, good. Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna have them call them and get my dog. So.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Bernard?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Arnold?
Just no, not at all. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. You'll hear from your attorney. You can step out, sir. Mr. Durban, you'll be processed and released.
Session, Norma Tibbetts versus James Durban.
For the record, Mr. Durban is appearing from the Monroe County Jail, having been arrested on a bench warrant issued by the court at the request of the front of the court. Also present for the Zoom hearing is Monroe County front of the court attorney Rebecca Hicks. Ms. Hicks, can you provide the court with background information on Mr. Durban?
Certainly, Your Honor. In this matter, it is an arrears only obligation. At this time, the child has now emancipated. The arrears balance is $26,934.25. It does appear as if we successfully liened a bank account in December of 2023. Prior to that, the last voluntary payment made by Mr. Durban was May of 2023.
Why isn't the Attorney General picked up this case? $27,000 in arrears?
I know this case was referred to the Attorney General, Your Honor. Like I said, once we refer them, I don't know what their process is or how long.
Well, right, Mr. Durban.
Yes.
Yeah, you're very fortunate you've not been charged with felony non-support by the Attorney General with these kind of arrears. It's atrocious. You understand you're being charged with civil contempt of court for failure to pay child support. If on conviction, you could be ordered up to 45 days in jail.
Yes.
Because of that, you have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you at public expense.
Yes.
Mr. Durban, are you requesting a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
Okay, what's your current address?
Ypsilanti,
Okay,
Michigan.
Are you currently employed?
I'm just working on myself at home with, I got my roommate, he's got Alzheimer's. I'm kind of his caretaker, so I get to live there for free. I'm working on a job there right now for this company, and I fix their vans when they wreck them. And I got one right now that I'm about half done with it, but I haven't got it done. I'm waiting for a check from them from last month's, but I guess they mailed it and it got lost in the mail, so they had to send me another check. And I got about a little over $400 I can come up with cash. I only have $51 in my account here at the jail. I went to see Wes McGee from this court, Monroe, for getting my license suspended. So I went there and he said, we're not going to suspend your license. And then he knows that I got colon cancer. So he said he wanted me to give him the records from the hospital or the doctor. I gave him her name, and
he told me to get apply for Social Security and Medicare, which I haven't done yet, but I was going to do that. I got somebody that was going to buy my car this last Friday, but she test drove it Thursday. She said she wanted it, and I was all set to sell it to her. She said she had to get the money from her brother, and she was going to buy it Friday, but I got arrested. So,
all right, Mr. Durban. Mr. Durban, are you being held on any criminal charges right now?
No.
All right. Do you own have any bank accounts?
I just got my checking account is only like $100 and some in there, maybe, if not, I don't know.
Yeah, but we have $400 cash at home. Is that correct?
Yeah. My roommate could bring it to me, but I don't think he can make it down there. He's got Alzheimer's. He can drive, but maybe across the street, or maybe down the road or someplace, but that's it. He can't go to Walmart. I was driving to Walmart's when I got pulled over.
All right, Mr. Durban, the court's going to grant your request for court-appointed attorney. We will schedule us for hearing. What do you suggest, Ms. Hicks? Thursday, perhaps?
That works with the front of the court, Your Honor.
Okay, the court's going to schedule us there for hearing. Thursday, 11:15 a.m. That's February 22nd, 2024, 11:15 a.m. Will be via Zoom. In the meantime, Mr. Durban, if the attorney will contact you at the Monroe County Jail. Your bond is the amount of $5,000 cash only. Any questions?
I can't get out of jail if I come up with some money today.
Sir, you're a candidate for 45 days in jail. So this is where you reach out to family and friends and try to get this cash together. Because otherwise, you spend the next month and a half in jail.
I don't have anybody I could call. I don't even know his number. It's on my phone.
All right, you can talk to your attorney. The attorney's going to talk to you between now and Thursday. He'll be back. You can hear via Zoom before this court on February 22nd, Thursday at 11:15 a.m. Any other questions?
I'm not going to be able to come up with the money. I got the money at home, but I'm going to have to go get it.
Well, you need a lot more than $400, Mr.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to sell my car. I could have sold my car Friday if she had the money. She said she wanted it.
Okay.
$2,400, and I could probably get a couple hundred. So 2,600 is the most I can come. I can't come up with 5,000. I know that. I can't do that. That van, if I get it done, I can get paid on that, but that's going to be about. That'll be they pay on the 30th of the month, which I'll probably get paid on that the 5th of March.
All right, Durban, you can talk to your attorney about all of that, Mr. Durban. You can step out, talk to your attorney about all that. We will see you in this court on Wednesday of this week. I'm sorry, Thursday of this week, February 22nd, 11:15.
Okay, thank you.
Campbell is praying for the Monroe County Jail via Zoom, having been arrested apparently on a bench warrant over the weekend. Also present for the Zoom here is Monroe County Attorney Rebecca Hicks. Ms. Hicks, can you provide the court some background information on Ms. Campbell, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. In this matter, there is a current monthly support obligation of $454 per month. The current arrears balance is $16,231. We received a lump sum payment in May of 2022 and no payment since then, Your Honor. This current bench warrant results from failing to appear at a referee show cause hearing in June of 2021.
All right, so you're asking the court to hold Mrs. Campbell in contempt of court, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Campbell, do you understand you're being charged with civil contempt of court for failure to pay child support? Upon conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. Since there's possibly a jail, you have the right to an attorney. If you're unable to afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you at public expense. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
Okay, are you requesting the court-appointed attorney?
Yeah.
Are you currently employed?
No, not right now.
Your last address in your file is for Newport. You have an obligation to keep the front of the court informed of any change of address when you move. You need to inform the front of the court in writing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time. I haven't lived there for like at least 15 years.
Okay, when you get out of jail, you need to come over in front of the court and fill out a form. Right,
I
your
already
current
changed
address.
it, I think.
Okay. So how do you support yourself?
I have a fiance who works and I stay home and take care of the kids.
All right, hopefully that fiance can post a bond on your behalf.
Yeah, I have family.
Okay. Donated property of any value like bank accounts, automobiles.
Nope.
Okay, court will grant request from court-appointed attorney. You are ordered to appear via Zoom before this court on Thursday of this week. That is February 22nd, 2024, 11:15 a.m. Ms. Six, the court's inclined to require a bond of at least $1,000 cash. Do you have any thoughts, recommendations?
The friend of the court, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
That's agreeable with the friend of the court, Your Honor, $1,000 cash.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Ms. Campbell, you'll appear before this court on Thursday of this week. That's February 22nd, 11:15 a.m. If you post the bond, you need to appear personally. Otherwise, you will appear via Zoom for the county jail. Bond with the amount of $1,000 cash.
Okay.
So reach out to your fiance to see what he can post.
All right.
In fact, yep, $1,000 cash. Any questions?
No, I'm gonna fight it because he should have never filed for child support. My daughter has been with me since she was born.
Well, I mean, you should have been proactive. Rather than sitting on your hands, you should have been proactive and filed the motion to stop support.
I wasn't even in Michigan. I didn't even know he filed.
Okay. Ms. Campbell, why don't you give us a cell number in case you do post a bond, the attorney can at least reach you by your cell number. All right, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, we will see you on Thursday, February 22nd, 11:15, appear in person. If you've posted $1,000 cash bond, otherwise you can will appear via Zoom for the county jail.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
The court is now in session, top of page 2, Asia Parker versus Andrew Campbell.
For the record, this matter is before the court for the purpose of reviewing father's parenting time. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Attorney Leah Worker, representing the plaintiff's mother, Ashia Parker. Ms. Parker is present, as is defendant father Andrew Chapman, also present. Good afternoon, everyone.
Your Honor.
Parties have conferred with the front of the court. Who has provided the court with fine recommendation. Father shall continue to have supervised parenting time with family counseling shelter services. And father shall start therapeutic visitation with that agency as soon as possible. Has there been any, I know there's a waiting list, Mr. Worker, Mr. Chapman, has there been any supervised parenting time thus far since we were last in court?
Your Honor, there has been supervised parenting time. The first visit was scheduled for January 11th. Mr. Chapman thought it was the 18th. So the first visit was actually held on January 18th. Visits have occurred weekly since that time. Xander's CPP therapist is recommending therapeutic parenting time with Mr. Chapman rather than just supervised parenting time. There has been an uptick in his emotional dysregulation and behaviors since parenting time started. Part of that was certainly to be expected, and they have been working with Xander through that. However, the thought is that if parenting time is occurring with a licensed therapist or social worker, they would be in a better position to help not only Xander, but also Mr. Chapman to safely navigate any emotional dysregulation that may occur during parenting time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rourke. Is that correct? Is that a correct assessment, Mr. Chapman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's important that we build this relationship in a very deliberate, careful fashion. It's extremely important. So you agree with this recommendation then, Mr. Chapman, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. It's further recommended that everyone come back to review parenting time May 21st at 1:30 p.m. That works with your schedule, Ms. Rourke?
It does, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. All right. Anything further this afternoon, Ms. Rourke?
No, Your Honor, I would just add that my client is also in agreement with the recommendation and believes that it is in the children's best interest.
Thank you. Mr. Chapman, anything further from your standpoint?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, keep up those weekly sessions, and this order will provide that as soon as the therapeutic parenting time can occur, the sooner the better. So make sure copies, or gets to family council service, take copies with you when you're at your next supervised parenting time. We'll send one back then May 21st at 1:30. All right, the court will adopt the recommendation, and that will conclude this matter. I'll zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Judge, you as well.
Thank you. The record, this matter is before the court on the plaintiff Colin Heaney's motion for paternity DNA or genetic testing. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Henry Levens, representing the plaintiff petitioner Colin Heaney. Mr. Heaney appears to be present with Mr. Levens. In addition, mother Anna Marie Wright also appears to be present. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Parties have conferred with Mr. Pratt for the front of the court. This afternoon, Mr. Pratt provided the court with fine recommendation that the parties shall cooperate to have genetic testing done through DDC. And a phone number, 1-800 number is provided in this order. And the parties will appear back before this court to review those genetic test results on April 16th, 2024, 1:30 p.m. Mr. Levens, is this recommendation good with your client?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Wright, do you understand the recommendation?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting this recommendation?
No, sir.
Okay. The one thing it does not address, who will pay for the testing, Mr. Levens?
My client will, Your Honor.
Okay. Can we add that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brad, that the plaintiff will pay for the full cost of such testing. So the
Ms. LaPrade, could you email me that?
I'm sorry?
I just asked Ms. LaPrade to email me the proposed order. I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay. There's an extra fee for that, Mr. Levens.
I understand.
Okay.
We have a PayPal account set up in advance.
Okay, very well. Ms. LaPrade is always extremely helpful, willing to help. So the initiative will be on the part of Mr. Heaney. He will contact the agency and provide a credit card payment so that both parties can schedule that appointment as soon as possible and everything will be in order. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Wright, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Levens?
Nothing for this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll see everyone back on April 16th, and hopefully we'll have those results. If you get the results ahead of time, Mr. Levens, it would be really appreciative if you could email those to the court. So I've got them in front of me the day or two before.
Absolutely.
All right. Now the court will adopt the recommendation, and that will conclude this matter. We can zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Brad. For the record, this matter is before the court for the purpose of reviewing custody and parenting time. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Presidential Attorney Leslie Carr representing the plaintiff, Raven Heflin. Ms. Heflin is present, and the defendant father, Jared Fullen, is also present. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
This matter was adjourned from January 16th so that Ms. Scott, from the front of the court, could conduct an investigation, issue a recommendation. Ms. Scott has done so. And you've received a copy of that, correct, Ms. Carr?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Okay. The parties have before the front of the court this afternoon. The courts received a fine recommendation that the parties shall share joint legal physical, shall share joint legal custody with physical custody awarded to the plaintiff mother of the 3-year-old child of the parties. Fathers shall have parenting time alternating weekends. Fridays at 6 to Sundays at 6. Father's first weekend shall commence February 23rd, 2024, which is Friday of this week. The party starting parenting time shall be responsible for transportation. So dad, you would pick up the child at 6 o'clock. Mom would pick up from your place at 6 o'clock Sunday. Parenting time for holidays, there shall be as the parties can agree. If the parties cannot agree, then the fallback will be the Monroe County Front of the Court holiday schedule. That is the recommendation. Ms. Carr, is this recommendation agreeable with your client, Ms. Heflin, this afternoon?
Yes, it is.
Will they be picking up at each other's home? Is that the understanding?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, Mr. Follen, do you understand the recommendation?
yes, Your Honor.
Do you have an objection to the court adopting this recommendation?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and obviously as your child gets older, I mean, there's a lot more flexibility during the summertime when the child's not in school, and the child gets older for a lot of reasons. Obviously, if the two of you can agree upon any other parenting time, that's fine. No one's going to stand in the way. The whole idea is we want that child to spend as much time with dad as well as mom as possible. So if you can agree on some other times, a holiday coming up, you got, of course, next holiday is coming up is Easter. You should both get a copy of the front of the court holiday schedule. Go online and get a copy of that. For example, father always has Father's Day, mom always has Mother's Day, so forth. So look at those holidays and talk, communicate with each other. Right, Ms. Carr, do you wish to word dear Ms. Huffman at all regarding this recommendation?
No, I do not. Thank you.
All right, any questions, Mr. Follen?
No, I
right.
understand.
All right, well, good job, both of you. The court will adopt the recommendation. Work together. It'd like be a lot easier if you can co-parent your child. All right, with that, the court will adopt the recommendation, finds an agreement between parents to be the best interest of their child. We'll adopt the recommendation, copy mailed to everyone.